Good morning, grade 3. Okay, welcome back to another science class. So, uh, what did we learn about water in this block until now? We have learned a lot. We have learned that water is used for many purposes, such as drinking, bathing, washing clothes or washing cars, and then um, cleaning the house, watering the plants. These are like common uses, and we also have some unique uses, such as using them in the fountain or playing with water balloons or making ice. All these are unique uses, but still then they are uses of water, right? And we also learned that there are different sources of water. There is surface water, water which is on the surface of the earth, and such as rivers and lakes, seas, oceans, and water that is found under the ground, which is called groundwater. Okay, we take out groundwater with the help of wells or tube wells. Okay, now in the previous class we also learned that uh, water sources are not easily available for everyone, right? We also learned that how water is cleaned in a river, in a water treatment plant, and then it is sent to people's homes through pipes, right? Now so today's topic is water for all. Now uh, do you think that people all over the world or in our country, everyone gets enough water for their use? If you look at yourself and your friends, you may not realize that, but there are many people in this world and in our country who do not get enough water. Okay, they do not get enough water to water their plants. They do not get enough water to clean their homes. They do not even get clean drinking water. Now, what is the reason? What is the reason for all these things? So there can be many reasons. Okay, such as uh, this situation when water is not easily available has a term. Okay, it is called water scarcity. The word scarcity itself means shortage of something. Now over here we are talking about water. Water scarcity means when we do not get enough water for our own uses. Okay, that is called water scarcity. Now the biggest question is, why does water scarcity happen? Why do people in our country are facing so much of problem to get enough water for their use? Now some reasons can be, there are many places where uh, the natural water sources such as rivers or lakes have dried up, sometimes because of the hot weather and the dry season. The river sources, they dry up. Okay, that can also be a reason where people why people do not get enough water if they are depending on those natural sources. Now there are also times when the groundwater, water which is under the ground, as more and more people start using water from under the ground, the level of water under the ground falls low. Okay, it becomes less. When it becomes less, it becomes hard for people to use groundwater. Okay, and see, if a place has more rainfall, I also told you before in the previous topic that if a place has more rainfall, it gets the groundwater level is always more. But these days when there's lots of development everywhere and people are easily cutting down trees help us to get more rainfall. Now when there are less trees, what happens is that there will be less rainfall in that place, and if there is less rainfall, the groundwater level will automatically go down. Okay, so when the water under the ground becomes less, it becomes very hard for people to take it out. So that can also be a reason why people do not get enough water. Now there are some places where there are some places where the river sources have dried up, and then there is no groundwater, and people usually depend on water that is sent that is brought in trucks. Okay, Now sometimes the authorities, they send free water, but sometimes people need to buy that water. Okay, so if you look into your worksheet, you will find that there are three pictures given. Okay, in the first picture it shows that uh, a few women are carrying pots in their head, and they're walking on a ground which is cracked up completely. It means that the weather is so hot that there's no rainfall. It's very hot, and the ground has dried up. The ground has completely dried up, which means that these people may have to walk very far to get enough drinking water. Okay, now if you look at the second picture shows that maybe it was a water source, maybe a pond or a lake, and it has completely dried up because there's no rainfall and because of the hot weather. And in the third picture it shows that there's a truck that has brought water for people, and so many people are lined up in front of it so that they can get enough water for their use. Okay, so the main reasons why people do not get water is that the natural water sources may dry up, or they may not have enough groundwater. Okay, this is the reason why water scarcity happens in a place. In places in India, there are places like Rajasthan, where people every year they struggle for enough water. And keep this in mind that as we cut down more and more trees, it will also affect the amount of rainfall that we get. So less rainfall means we will also have less groundwater. Okay, and when we have less groundwater, it will not be easy for people to take out enough water for their use. And sometimes people are very poor. They're so poor that they cannot construct a well, or they cannot put a tube well, or they cannot afford to put an electric pump to take out groundwater in the area. They may be so poor, so they have to eventually walk many kilometers just to go to a place where they can get clean drinking water. Okay, so you might be thinking that what can we do when people are facing water scarcity? We are lucky that we live in a place where water is completely available for us all the time. Okay, we depend on groundwater. We have enough groundwater, and we can use it for so many purposes. You wash your car, you wash your toys, you play with water, you have water in your swimming pools. But there are so many people in our country where people can't even take bath properly every day because they do not even have clean drinking water. They do not have water enough for cooking. Forget about washing clothes, or forget about playing with water. They do not get enough water. Sometimes children cannot go to school because they have to walk many kilometers just to fill up their pots with water. Because of this, they cannot go to school. Sometimes people cannot go to work because most of their time is spent in bringing water for their own use. Okay, so what you can do is that uh, use less water. Whenever you're taking bath, make sure that you're not wasting water. Whenever you're using water for brushing your teeth, or you're rinsing something, make sure that you're using as much as you need. The less water you take out from under the ground, the more people will have it. Okay, so always try to save water. When you do this, there will be water available for everyone. And we should also realize that we should not cut down trees. When we cut down trees, it affects the rainfall of a place. Okay, it affects the rainfall, it also affects the climate of a place. So if people are a little bit more responsible, water scarcity can also be controlled up to a certain limit. Okay.